Clear efficiency, helping you get clear on the efficiency of your home. Okay, Art, I am up in the attic space right now, just taking a quick look around, seeing what it is that you have and seeing how it is that we might best be able to help you out here. So first and foremost, what we're looking at is the type of insulation that you have here on your attic floor. Right now you have two different types of the fiberglass type of insulation. Not a terrible type of insulation by any stretch of the means. Honestly, the biggest issue between what you have and the newest version of this, which is what we carry, is that your particular version, if it were to get directly on the skin, it still has an irritational factor to it, whereas the new stuff is what's rated for schools and hospitals because it's non-toxic, non-itch, and non-dust, right? But as far as its ability to insulate and get you insulated in your home, it's going to work very, very similar to what you have, okay? The biggest issue with what you have is that you just don't have enough, okay? And that brings me to my second point, which is your current level. So I have a little ruler here, but before we even look at the ruler, we can see our wooden beams already everywhere on the attic floor, and that is already going to give us a pretty good indication about just how low you are. And quite a few spaces have absolutely no insulation. It's just been worked completely away, and a few of them are right around the duct area, so definitely a big no-no on that. But on average, you guys are coming in right around this 4-inch, 3-inch mark in a lot of the places, okay? That makes it, just to put that in perspective, insulation is done in R value, okay? So at a 4-inch, you guys are pretty close to about an R5, okay? Just to put that in perspective, bare minimum code right now, all brand new homes are being built at R38, 13.25 inches. That's right here, okay? And then the very most insulation that you would put in the home for the maximum effective insulation is 20 inches at R60, okay? Anything above this is what we call diminishing returns, which means you can double up to 40 inches. It won't provide you any more value than it will right here at this 20. But at the very least, we certainly want to get you to code, okay? So pretty simple on that, okay? So, like I mentioned to you, we do offer an air seal, okay? So that takes care of the insulation portion, but something else that you can do to maximize your effect in the attic space is to seal up the gaps on the attic floor. Now, you said you already did a little bit of research, so I won't take you to a whole lot of areas, but I do want you to have a good visual of what we're referring to and what we're talking about here, okay? When it comes to the current level of insulation, or sorry, the current insulation that you have here, it is for the most part clean. I haven't really seen a whole lot of rodent activity, maybe a couple pieces of fecal matter, but nothing like piles in which I would see in some homes which are quite infested, right? And so it'll be up to you, but really there's no major reason to remove this. You could easily just start from where you're at and then get up to energy efficient standards. If you want to see an option for removing it, I can show it to you, but it's perfectly fine to keep and just blowing over the top, or seal up the gaps and then blowing over the top, okay? So that brings me to the second point here, which is the air gaps, okay? So if this is your home, all right, talking wintertime right now, as hot air rises, you pay for heat, hot air rises, stacks on the ceiling, and it looks for avenues to escape and get up into the attic space. Obviously, that does not benefit you. That costs you money, right? In the summertime, that process reverses, right? And so if it's only 95 degrees outside, it's easily 120 to 140 in this attic space, okay? And then this area becomes pressurized, it becomes hot, it becomes pressurized, and it forces heat back down into the home, okay? And that heat is going to obviously have you run your AC more, but it's also going to carry dust along with it, right? I didn't ask you if anyone in the home has any allergies or goes into sneezing fits, but when we seal up the gaps, we effectively eliminate a lot of those allergens getting back into the home. So let me just take you to a few different areas. This applies to can lights. This applies to ductwork meeting the attic floor, wiring meeting the attic floor, plumbing, anything basically that were to break down through the ceiling. So here's a pretty good example right here. We got a can light, and the unit is put in, right? And nothing was done wrong here. They installed the unit correctly, but notice the gap all the way around the unit, okay? And inevitably that allows for what you're paying for to move up, but also it allows for what's happening in this attic space to then get back down, right? Costing you a lot of money and also obviously cost some level of comfort as well. So you're not in SMUD territory with where we're at right here, but in SMUD they offer a rebate for this work. They offer a rebate for us coming around and sealing up all the gaps on the attic floor, and to get you way more efficient than where you're at right now and have your HVAC unit running less. Okay, same thing would apply to wiring, just like this, down to the attic floor. This right here is actually an interior wall, so we seal up the whole interior wall. These are ones that are unthought of. People don't think about interior walls too often as carrying heat back down to the home, but they certainly do, and your HVAC unit has to compensate for that when it's trying to detect where you're currently at for temperature, which is versus where you've asked it to be. Okay, so pretty simple on that. And again, here is where ductwork is going to meet the attic floor. Again, we want the insulation to be vibrant like this, okay? And this is someplace that's not a penetration. But when we get down to the areas which have penetration, notice all this dust here, right? This is the dust that's collecting during the wintertime as hot air rises. It brings the dust up with it. And then during the summertime, when this area is hot and pressurized, it sends this dust back down into your home, which typically sets people off, right? If I were to grab anything from the inside, right? So look how black this is, right? This is just, this could be decades old dust that's just being shot up and sent back, shot up and sent back. So by sealing up all these gaps, we stop that dust from getting back into the home. It gets to just stay up here. You guys get to utilize the insulation, be more efficient, but also allows that HVAC unit to not work as hard, and it's going to improve the quality of the air inside the home. That's pretty much it, Art. That's everything that I'm looking at. Just a few options to consider in my professional opinion. Sooner rather than later. Thank you.